Grab your Bible and a Diet Mountain Dew because it's time for the Brother Byron podcast. Listen in as Brother Byron brings you thought-provoking insights from his 30-plus years in the ministry. Now here's Brother Byron.
Hello, friends. This is Brother Byron with another Brother Byron podcast. And happy Thursday, January the 9th, 2025. Today I've titled the podcast Thursday Tidbits podcast. It's just a little bit of this and a little bit of that. It's been a couple of days since we've done a podcast. I believe the last one I was reviewing the Spurgeon 5-volume set, and I pre-recorded it to publish the day after I did it. So hopefully everybody got that one. I noticed on one of them I had it marked private, so nobody saw it until I had to go in and change the privacy settings. But anyhow, it's been a few days and some things have happened in between then and now. And so I just kind of want to have sort of a catch up and talk about a few things and another hodgepodge. So it's still very, very cold here in good old East Tennessee. The high today is 34 degrees. I was outside for a little bit today and my feet are still freezing. Now I wear boots all the time. That's all I wear. I've got dress boots and I got comfortable boots and boots, just boots. And, but my toes are cold from being outside. Our low tonight is 22 and I think the high today was supposed to be 34. It may have got up to 35. I don't know, but it's cold. And the National Weather Service has also issued a winter storm warning for us here in our area. And it's expected to start tonight, I believe, with snowing and go through Friday and Saturday. And they're claiming we may get anywhere between 3 and 6 inches. Of course, what is it? In higher elevations, you will get probably 10 feet. But we do have a mountain on one side of us. I live right at basically the foot of House Mountain. If you walk out in my front yard and look, all you see is mountain, House Mountain. So I believe we're a little protected that way. But on this side of me, our road goes straight up a hill. So if it gets ice and snow on our road, we ain't getting out of here. We're pretty much trapped. But they are saying it's going to go on, and so it's not looking good for Sunday again. And traveling will be probably treacherous on Sunday morning. So it's possible we may be doing another live stream from our home instead of meeting in person at church again. And I've already told them last night at church that may be a possibility if it does what they say it's going to do. But you never know. I mean, they're just guessing. I know they have all these radars and models out there that they look at and such, but it pretty much comes down to they're just guessing whether or not it's going to happen. But every time I think they're wrong, they're usually right. And when I think they're right, they're usually wrong. So who knows? But speaking of church, we had services last night on Wednesday. Had a good turnout despite the cold weather. I was pleasantly also surprised to find an international package waiting for me on the pew there at church where I normally sit. Brother Scott gets the mail and he placed it there, and I came in, what a surprise. And it was correspondence from our friends over in Wales, or Chester, England, Marie and her mom, Sandra. And it was so good to get that. Christmas card. I know it's after Christmas now. Maybe the mail was delayed and such, but it doesn't matter. It's Christmas all year long for me. I love it. And what a great thing it was. There was a nice note in there that was written to us, me and Mary, and wishing us happy Christmas, and also poems written by Marie. I believe there's 5 different ones there, and what a joy and pleasure that was. And it's a real blessing. My wife and I both were overwhelmed with the kindness that was shown to us. And Marie, if you're listening to this, you made mention of whether or not you didn't know whether or not that I enjoyed poetry. I do. I love poetry. I always have. I take it after my father. My dad was a big poet fan. We grew up, and I've told this before, but my dad was a voracious book reader, and we had these bookshelves that he made that covered our entire living room, one of the walls, the entire wall. It was huge, huge bookcase and filled full of books. And on the very top of it were all the works of William Shakespeare. They were in each individual one in these little blue hardback books. My son has them now. I don't have room for them, but my son got them after my dad passed away, and he has them. In fact, he has a lot of probably the biggest majority of dad's books at his house. My son also collects books like me and dad did. But yeah, I love poetry. I've read it all my life. And of course, I was named after a poet, Lord Byron. I know he wasn't a Christian poet, but he still knew how to put words together. Um, I believe probably the greatest Christian poets was David and his son Solomon in the Bible. I mean, they're wonderful, great poetry there. And but I enjoy other poets as well. Let's see, Walt Whitman, Robert Frost, Edgar Allan Poe. He really knew how to put some things together. I remember in high school, in one of my classes I had, we read The Telltale Heart in class, and I did the sound effects for it. And so every time the heart would beat, I'd go like that, and everybody was just shocked, that I could make it sound like a heartbeat. But we had a lot of fun with that. And of course, Lord Byron, like I said, he's not a Christian poet, but he did a lot of work. Look, I've got right here his works. It's a big old thick book, but there's a lot of things in there. Some of it, of course, was kind of racy and stuff, and he did not live a very good life. But you just you take what you got, um, eat the meat and spit out the bones. But there's a lot of good poetry out there. If you've not read Apples of Gold, which this is a classic right here. I don't know when this was first came out. There, I believe you can see it in the camera. But Apples of Gold is based off of Galatians 5:22 and 23, the fruit of the Spirit. And you can see here in the contents, it takes each one of the fruit of the Spirit. Did I get it up? Yeah, right there. I don't know why it's so difficult for me to figure out where that camera's at. But right there it is: love, joy, peace, long suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, and temperance. And each poem is based off of the fruit of the Spirit. And that's a nice book. And you can find these. I believe this one came from either the Goodwill or Carm, I believe. But great book. You can find other poetry books like this one. This one has this is a compilation of a bunch of poems. I don't know how many's in here. I don't remember. Been a while since I've looked at this, but man, there's hundreds in this book right here. Can you see it? I don't know. Maybe you can see the side of it. Poems. It says poems that touch the heart, and these are really good right here in this book. This was a used library book that was being sold that my daughter bought actually. And so yes, I love poetry. I write a little bit of poetry. I did a lot more. I used to in the past write more than I do now. I just don't have time. I've not devoted much to it. My grandmother also, she was a poet. And when she passed away, my mother got her poems and compiled them all in a booklet form. And boy, she could write. But I appreciate the poems that were sent to us, and enjoy reading that. And thankful that God gave you the talent to do that, and appreciate you thinking of us. And I believe the Lord blesses us with things to read, not just the Bible, but to expand our minds. And just it brings you great joy. And so I do appreciate that. And thank you for listening to old Brother Byron on the Brother Byron podcast. And thankful for you. And tell Martin Lloyd Jones' family over there I said, hey, if there's any still around. But as you know, I started the Romans Bible study series last night at church. Thought that it went real well. Got a lot of good positive feedback from it. We only covered Romans chapter 1, verse 1, and I didn't spend a vast amount of time on the verse because I spent most of the time just giving an overview of the book of Romans. I talked a lot about the human penman Paul, the apostle, who wrote the book of Romans and who he wrote it to, and the circumstances around it and the time period and all that. So kind of got in depth about it. I am a history buff, and I like to get into a lot of the history, and I believe people get interested in that. Uh, and a lot of times when you go to hear preaching, um, it helps, I believe, to have an understanding of the time period and the things that were going on at the time. And so, I believe we ought to do that when possible. At the end of the service, we prayed, and we were praying for homeless people. There's a lot around the church, as I've mentioned before, being downtown and around a lot of the shelters. There's a lot that walk back and forth down our street and around, the area. And it being so cold, of course, we're concerned about them. We don't have the ability or means to house people at our church. We just don't have the ability to do that. And they do have the shelters around there, but we do want to help whenever possible if we can. But we were praying for the homeless, and after we dismissed, um, there was a homeless man in our parking lot, and he said he was just passing through, that he had been to another church that he goes to, um, but that he had left, and he was walking, I guess, toward the shelter, and was seeing if anybody was going that way or something. But he wasn't there trying to beg for money or anything like that. But we had a conversation there in the parking lot for a little while. But one of the things that the Lord put in place, I believe he orchestrated this. One of our members, Sister Jessie, she had some hand warmers, those little packages of hand warmers that, you can get and break open and keeping your hands warm and stuff. And she brought that man several of those from her car. And it just all of a sudden is like the Lord hit me upside the head and said, "You've been praying for some way to be able to help." And that seems like the perfect opportunity. We could have a warm hands ministry. We could purchase a bunch of those hand warmers and bundle them together with a Bible tract and give them to the homeless and, those out there that are in the cold. And I believe that would be a wonderful thing that we could do. And so I'm going to put effort into that, into a warm hands ministry, and see if we can't get that going. And hopefully we'll have some folks there at the church that will get into that and get excited about it and help out with it. Um, and speaking of Bible tracts, I did receive all the ones that I ordered last week from Moments in the Book is the website if you want to go there, but they sell King James Version Bible tracts, and I bought 3 different ones, 100 each. It wasn't very expensive. I believe I paid a total of $36 for those tracts, and they were even customized with the church name, address, and website on the back of them. I think that's a great deal. And I'll tell you one reason why that's so good. I went to the Sword of the Lord where I used to order a lot of tracts from, but I went there to order tracts, the ones I normally get, and I put them in my cart, and I went to check out, and they wanted to charge me either 21 or $29 to ship those Bible tracts from Murfreesboro, Tennessee to Corryton, Tennessee, which is, I can get to Murfreesboro in about an hour and a half, 2 hours. And they wanted to charge that amount of money to ship those Bible tracts to me. And it wasn't a great bunch of Bible tracts. And I thought, that's a waste of God's money. I am not going to pay shipping like that. And of course, it's free if you go there and pick them up at the Sword. But again, that's a 2-hour trip there, and a 2-hour trip back. So that's 4 hours, plus find the time to do it and all that. So, but, the place that I ordered from, They ship for free. So, you can't beat that. And so that's my new go-to place. Moments in the Book is the website, and go there, find you some Bible tracts, and buy them. It does seem like that our prayer list is growing larger every day at church. I keep a book. I don't have it here with me. It's in the living room, but I keep a book of prayer requests, and I put down the day and list them down, who asked it, and who they're asking for. And the church knows by now I like to hear people's names, even if I don't mention those people's names in public. Or if you've got a prayer request about something and you don't want people to know who it is, I like to know so that I can just say their name to the Lord when I'm praying. And so I write down all that in my little prayer book, and boy, that thing is just growing bigger and bigger every day. So many people sick right now and facing tremendous problems in their life. A lot of people facing surgeries and treatments, um, physical therapy, so many things. And, I can't do much for those folks except pray. And so, pray for all these. When you go to pray, just say something like, please pray for those folks on the prayer list at Northside Baptist Church. And the Lord knows who they are. You don't have to know them, but they need a touch from God in their lives. And so all the prayer that we can get is appreciated. I took a day off from work yesterday because I was not feeling good when I was in the office Tuesday. I had to go into the office, and I felt like I was getting sick. I started sneezing, my head was hurting, and my throat felt scratchy. And I thought, oh boy, I'm coming down with it. I'm getting what all the kids have had. And so I went ahead and took a PTO day for the following day on Wednesday because I figured I'd be pretty bad off. And I texted Brother Scott and I told him how I was feeling, and he said he'd be praying for me, and so he was praying for me. And and I woke up Wednesday morning and I felt pretty good. I was no problems at all. So maybe I was just allergic to something at the office. We'll just go with that. But it felt good. I still feel good. I've got a little sinus stuff, of which I always have, and it could have been that. It could have been sinus problems I was dealing with at work. But I did take off yesterday, and Mary and we went out to Sam's Club, picked up a bunch of supplies and groceries so that we'd be stocked up because of this impending storm that's coming up. And let's see, we went and picked up some cough drops, Robitussin, and Kleenex for all the sickos in the house. And hopefully I won't have to be using all that stuff myself. Um, the video reels, shorts, and clips that I made the podcast about, I believe 2 podcasts ago, those are still going good. I've added another one. I've got 4 out there now, I believe, and they're still getting hundreds of views. I am amazed at the number of people that are willing to watch a short clip like that of preaching, when I know they're not going to listen to a 30 and 45-minute sermon, but perhaps they will. One person commented on there, I was waiting for him to explain those things he was talking about, but no. And so I commented back and I said, thanks for listening. This is kind of like a movie preview. They show you some things in there, getting your interest up and hoping that you'll go to see the movie. What's the same with these little clips? We pray that people will see them, get interested, and want to know more. Click on the link to get the full message and listen to it, and help them that way. And so those clips, I believe, are a really good thing. I've often wondered what the Apostle Paul would do with the technology that we have today. He'd probably be the king of it. I mean, I can just see him now, having his own website and podcast and everything. He wanted to reach people so much. He went and did everything that he could possible. Didn't matter. And so I believe he would use those, what we have available today. He'd use that. And, the gospel message has not changed. Our methods sometimes change to fit the culture, to fit, the temperature of the people. Right now, those little reels and shorts and clips are the thing that people are doing. Now that may go away. It may get to where people get tired of watching little video clips and stop doing it. It's kind of like MySpace. Everybody had MySpace at one time, and now, I mean, is it still even there? I don't know. I used to have a MySpace account. I don't even know if it's still got it, if it's there. And so they moved on to Facebook, and now all the young people are getting off Facebook because all the old people took it over, and so they're going to other things, Snapchat or whatever it is. But we've got Instagram and Twitter or X and all these different things. TikTok, that's the big thing right now. TikTok, and of course, there's a lot of people concerned that they're going to ban TikTok here in the United States. I believe it's on the books to do it. Last thing I saw, President Trump was trying to put a stop to it, even though I believe he was the one that instigated it in the first place. But now I believe he's for it. Maybe he wants to start doing all of his own TikTok videos. I don't know. But anyhow, like I was saying, the gospel message has not changed, but the methods have. Things have changed a lot, especially since COVID. Used to, we did door to door visiting. We'd go house to house, knock on doors, invite people to church, give them Bible tracts, talk to them, witness, and all that. Nowadays, people don't want you at their front door. And I know some people still do it. And, there'll be some people to the day they die will die on a hill saying that's the only way to do it. Well, unfortunately, it's just not a viable means of doing that nowadays. It seems like it even causes more issues when you go around knocking on doors now than it used to. So I believe other methods are needed. Now, we are going to go through our neighborhood when the warm weather hits, and we're going to give Bible tracts out and things. But, to do that on a every week basis and everything, I just don't think that that's the method that's the most helpful right now. Now, maybe it'll change. Now, in some places, maybe more rural places, or even some other countries, that may be a good thing to be doing. But things have kind of changed around here. Let's see what else I was going to talk about. Oh, yeah. Oh, Brother Jonathan. So I mentioned, I guess a week ago, that I was going to have to quit getting new books because I'm getting covered up with them and I've not read them all and I don't have time to read them all. And so I said, I'm going to have to put a stop to it. First of all, it's cost money, but also, I've got to finish these other books instead of buying books. Well, Brother Jonathan has his own podcast, The Bible Collector podcast or blog, and he reviews Bibles. He's the only person on earth that I know that has more Bibles than I do. And I believe he buys a new Bible every day. I believe he told me today there was 3 more he wanted to get, but he's afraid he'd be homeless if he bought them. So, but thanks to Brother Jonathan and his Bible Collector podcast, he did a review on a new study Bible. Well, it's not a new study Bible. It was new to him and it's new to me, but it's the Henry Morris Study Bible. I had seen it. He'd talked about it before, and I found it on Amazon, and I put it in the wish list, and actually it was only $27. But anyway, he did the review on it, and everything he said about it and everything he showed, I was just like, I got to buy that book. So what did I do? I got the Henry Morris Study Bible. Here it is. That's it. Look at that. Look how big this thing is. Huge. It must weigh, I don't know, 7 pounds or more. It's heavy, but it is plumb packed full of stuff. I am amazed at all the information that is in this Bible. It is, wow, a lot of work has went into this. But it says apologetics, commentary, and explanatory notes from the father of modern creationism, Henry Morris, and it is King James version. And so I'm not going to do a review on this Bible because Brother Jonathan's already done it. And if you're interested in seeing his review, go to Facebook and type in The Bible Collector. And let me click over there. I believe it's here. There you go. So this is Brother Jonathan's Facebook page that he just started recently. He's not had it long. I don't think he's been advertising it or, promoting it. So there's not many followers right now, but he posted, he's got a YouTube page of his own, and he links to it and gives these reviews. So this is the one with the Henry Morris Study Bible right here. And yeah, there's my comment. Caused me to go buy another study Bible. But he reviews it there. And if you'll just go out there and click on it, and you can watch his review. I'm not going to show you his whole review here, but you can see there he is. I don't know if you can hear it. Probably not. I don't have that mic on over there. But yeah, he did a good job on that. Made me want it. So yeah, I went and bought it. And since Amazon put their warehouse in close to us, it's about 10, 12 miles from our house. We can get things now within a day, sometimes the same day. I ordered that Bible yesterday and I got it today. And so thank you, Brother Jonathan. But it is great. And if you want one, $27, you can't beat that. I mean, that's a huge book for that amount of money. And so I guess, that's probably all I had on my mind today. Just a Thursday tidbit podcast. And I hope you're having a good day. Hope you're staying warm. And don't forget, if you're able to go to church Sunday, please go to church. If you belong to church and you have your name on that church roll book, go to it, support it, be there. Now, if it's too bad to drive and get out and such, watch a live stream, a church service live stream. I don't think that should replace church, but it's great for the times that it's needed. It don't have to be my live stream that you watch. It can be anyone's. Just find you a good Bible believing church. Don't go watch Joel Osteen. Don't do that. But anyway, support your church and be there and worship the Lord on the Lord's day. And so I guess that's all I had today. Don't know about the next podcast. We'll just have to wait and see. But until then, thank you for tuning in. And this is Brother Byron. And you know what? I forgot to switch to that camera, didn't I? This is Brother Byron. Oh, look, there's the card from Marie. I kept it over here so I could look at it. But this is Brother Byron, and I'm out.